So, you want to be a real estate investor, but where do you start? How do you know what information and sources to trust? That's where I come in. I'm Jonny Cattani, and this is the Investor Relations Real Estate Podcast. Hey guys, real quick, before we start, go to investwithcattani.com and download my free ebook, Is Commercial Real Estate Recession Proof? Now to today's show. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Friday Follow-Up here on the Investor Relations Real Estate Podcast. I am your host, Jonny Cattani. We have made it through another week, and we are coming to you post-webinar. That's right. Just did a webinar, first webinar that I've led. I did not do the presentation, but I was the hype man in the beginning and the MC throughout, which was amazing. Shout out to Adam Carswell, the best MC I know. Shout out to Hunter for all of your amazing modules on how to give a webinar and be a great hype man during the webinar. Got some compliments, so I feel like it went really, really well. I was very nervous. But, I will say that having the podcast, is the reason that I volunteered myself to do it. And, there really wasn't anyone stepping up. And B, I really did feel so comfortable talking to the mic, getting people hyped up, staring into a camera. And it went really, really well. Unfortunately, because it is a 506B, I can't really talk about the deal itself. Even the investors on there, if you're unfamiliar, in the syndication world, there are two kinds of, in the private world, there are two kinds of syndications. There's a 506C, also known as a Charlie, and a 506B, also known as a Bravo. And some pretty big differences between the two of them. We'll start with 506C. So the 506C is the most common, simply because there's not as many regulations around it. The biggest difference with a 506B, you're only allowed accredited investors, and they have to prove their accreditation, meaning that's typically a letter signed by a CPA or an attorney stating that they are accredited. And then you have to actually, upload that, scan it and upload it and include it with your PPM, your private placement memorandum, and all the documents that you sign, proving that you're accredited. Once you do it once, it's saved in the operator's portal, and then, you don't have to do it every time. And it is good for 5 years, which is nice. To be accredited, I believe it has not changed yet. Essentially, it's if you're a single filer, meaning you file your taxes as a single person, which some married people actually do. It's $200,000 for the last 2 years in gross income and or $1 million in net worth, excluding your primary residence. If you're a joint filer, then it's still $1 million in net worth, excluding your residence. But the income increases to $300,000. So the nice thing with that is you can have a married couple that files jointly and they both make $150,000 a year and they're both accredited, right? So kind of some pros and cons there. The other nice thing about the Charlie 506C is that you can market it. You can publicly market it. I mean, you can literally go buy a billboard and put it up there and put a phone number with it, and you can market it. But it's only available to accredited investors. With the 506B, you can have accredited investors, of course, still, but you can also have up to 35 non-accredited investors, meaning typically they still need to be categorized as sophisticated, which means that you need to have a substantial relationship with them. So have had multiple communications with them, phone conversations, obviously friends and family, pretty easy to prove. But anyone outside of that, you need to be able to prove to the SEC, if that ever comes up, that you have a substantial relationship with that person, and they will nitpick. I mean, you need to be able to prove it, right? I'm talking cell phone records, proof you've been in person, whatever it is, Zoom recordings, however you've talked to them, right? However, the caveat there is because you're allowed non-accredited investors, you cannot market this publicly. So if you're doing a 506B deal, you can only send it to those people who you have a substantial relationship with. So all of that to say that this deal is a 506B, meaning unfortunately I cannot go into heavy details about it. Once it closes, I can then talk about it, and I will certainly do that once it closes. But with that, this is my first official raise under my own name, and I am very confident. Of course, in the back of my mind, I'm still very nervous. I could fall flat on my face, but I am very confident that there will be success. So this came right after that. You could probably hear it in my voice. I'm probably a little bit more excited because I was leading it and I've been talking for a while, and, just overall enthusiasm for the deal and for everything. So it was a lot of fun. It was very exciting. We had an awesome turnout. We had 55 people register. I think at one point we had 30 total people on there, which if you've ever led a webinar, that's a good amount, especially, I announced it to my group. Well, we all announced it starting on Tuesday, actually. Tuesday. So there was only 48 hours leading up to it. So to get 55 registrants and 30 people to show up, that's incredible. 21 people stayed through the whole thing, which is even more amazing. We had some awesome questions at the end, which was great. Of course, we had some some frequently asked questions already predetermined, which is a really awesome way to do a webinar at the end. That way, it really opens it up, right? If you're like, hey, we've got some questions that were emailed in, we're going to get to those first. By go ahead and just asking questions and kind of, getting the ball rolling there, all of a sudden, like we ended it and went to Q&A and nobody had asked a question. And then I started asking some of these FAQs and the Q&A blew up, right? So it's a really great way to sort of break the ice, get people going. And then we had a lot of questions and it was awesome. And it was really great too, because the CEO of the operational company led the whole thing. And he's obviously done this plenty of times. He's very knowledgeable. So it was a really, really awesome webinar. Very, very excited, very happy with how it turned out. So with that, I want to say thank you all for listening. This has been incredible. I'm so excited. I can't wait to keep you guys updated on this raise. If you are interested in learning more, you can reach out to me. We can have a conversation. There are going to be multiple opportunities to get into this deal, which is awesome because it is a fund. So while you probably won't be able to get into the first call or the first round, there will be other opportunities because of the way the deal is set up. So if you are interested, please DM me and say interested, and we will set up a phone call. You can DM me on Instagram at Jonny Cattani, at JONNYCATTANI. And with that, I am going to head out. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, download, rate, review, everything in between. We're also on YouTube. You can watch. I'm dressed to the nines right now. Go check it out. Lighting is just immaculate. Chef's kiss. Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. It's starting to cool down here finally, which is amazing. So going to play outside this weekend. Actually, I'm actually headed to Phoenix today. Well, you're listening to this. I'm headed to Phoenix today to go watch the AVP Pro Beach Volleyball Championships. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I play a ton of sand volleyball and I'm a huge fan of it. And usually go to 2 or 3 tournaments a year and didn't make it to any. So this is the final stop and the championship. So thought it was fitting to go. So I will be in Phoenix all weekend. You guys be safe. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. See ya. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. Listen, I know it's cliche and you hear it all the time, but please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you know when the next video is coming out. Even though this is technically a daily podcast, you know it's coming out the next day. We have a ton of content coming your way. So please like and subscribe. It helps a ton. Leave comments. Would love to know what you guys think. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks so much.